What we do here is go back.
Hey everyone, Chev here. So I got the Aeroflow fuel pump. So what happened last time was I didn't have much money at the time. I wanted to sort of get the car running properly. Well, didn't work, so not properly, should I say. So I got a fuel pump and it doesn't have a return on it. So I thought just a carby, I should be able to run, just not a return anyway. I've done it before, but this car just didn't like it. So this is the new one. I've gone the Aeroflow one, and I've used their stuff before and it's always pretty good. It's more expensive, but you pay for what you get, I guess. So that's the thing. So the small ones I returned. So now I'm back on track with that. I'm going to hook that in now, and then we'll have to do another fuel pressure test and set the fuel rig again, just to check it, sort of thing. This is where I'm at now. So here I've taken this bolt out. So there is a trick. So because this has a rod in here which strikes on this fuel lever which creates the pump, so that's the rod which connects onto the cam. There's a lobe on the cam, that goes up and down here. So you got a bolt on, I think it's on the 350s and these 305s. You got a bolt just above the earth strip. So if you take that out, it's just a little one like this, little tiny one like that. So if you take that out and then take one of these out, it screws into there, and the rod, and it holds the rod where it is. So then you can actually undo this and it'll just drop out and the rod stays where it is, and you don't have to try to fish it back up with a screwdriver. And what I like to do too is once it's open, which I'll show you, get this open, I like to push the rod up, undo that slightly, push the rod up a bit more and do it more. So then when I put the lever back in, I'll show you anyway, but when I put the lever back in, then once I undo that bolt, the rod will just come down nicely on the thing, on the fuel pump lever. So that's my plan now. I'm still going to run this primary, the electric primary here. That's just going to help. I was flooding the motor, trying to get the fuel up to the pump some days, like on really hot days. So I'm hoping this, because this will just help push this one a little bit, ease the pressure off that. It's only a low PSI, and yeah, so that's my plan. So hopefully no more flooding from that. I know the flooding's my thing, but it's just, yeah, I haven't worked out the throttle properly. It was working on just 3 pumps every morning before you start it, and it was working fine, and then it just decided to change again. So, but yeah, so I'll do that pump now and we'll get into that. And then this is the regulator, so we'll adjust that. We'll take this bung out, connect our gauge to that, and then we'll adjust this pressure. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is the new pump. There's the return, your normal one. This is the other new pump. It was pretty new. So this one here, so it has had no return, and I think that was my problem. And I think what's happened is I've regulated it, but the fuel had nowhere to go, I'm guessing, because I wasn't running a thing. But it's not massive pressure. You wouldn't think it would do it because it's only running like max 6 psi, 7 psi sort of thing. So, but yeah, anyways, it's a plan with that. I'll get this on now and get my homemade gauge hooked up, and we'll see how we go. So with these, cleaning up these gaskets, as you see down there on the old thing. So I use these are handy as for it. They don't scratch it, they don't dig big holes, they're just a nice, they just clean it up nice, and that's it. And that's what you want. You just make sure you don't get the shit in there. But yeah, clean up that. I normally wipe down this thread here a bit as well, make sure it's nice and clean, to get a good seal. And yeah, this is, see that bolt over there, that's how far the bolt sits. Once it's holding that rod, if you use one of those bolts from that pump. So that holds it for now. Still got the old seal, I've got to take that off, but I don't know if you can see in there, you can see the rod holding. But yeah, so I'll put the pump back on and we'll be good to go. Sweet. Okay, so I'll skip forward a bit here. That's the new pump. Doesn't look like it's dirty already, but that's the new pump. I've hooked up the line, so that's my inline now with the filter that comes straight into my main down here. And then I've got both my line, and it goes in through my electric still, so that's like a primary, and then down. So about to start it up now. That's the gauge hooked up there, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that's it running. Running now. As I showed you, I'll stuck over here, you can't hear. So that's the running 6 psi. She seems to be running a lot nicer on the tune now. So yeah, should be good. Now we've got to get into fixing these studs. It just seems like the list just keep growing and growing. But that is all business cars. Yeah, so this just keeps on growing, but that's cars, this was what it is. But yeah, I'll fix those studs next, and then let's just start driving this thing and have some fun. So. Also, while I was doing the pump and everything, got the better of me, and I ended up lowering the back of the front of the VE again, right height of the guard. So pretty happy now. So yeah, that's what we got up to today. Bit of that, and yeah, a little bit on the Camaro. So like I said, it should be awesome to get into the Vauxhall next. So start on the engine bay and the floor, chassis, etc. So this is the setup that's running now. It's a bit ghetto. I didn't want to go too much because I am planning on going a high-rise manifold in this car. So I'll have to rerun it all anyway. But yeah. So I haven't taken this off yet. I'm just going to leave the car for now. Let it cool down. It's a very hot day here today. So yeah, that's a short one today. Just chucking the mechanical fuel pump on. It's starting to grow on me. I was a bit worried what people would think about the paint job. But it's definitely started to grow on me. And the more I hear it run, like it, the interior is how I wanted it. So obviously I still got the trim to get from America or somewhere like that, but yeah. Okay, so I'll be pretty ready to get into that. Awesome. Thanks for watching this one. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully be into this Vauxhall soon. My head's ticking, heaps of plans. Constantly googling stuff, so yeah, got lists for days and eBay and everything like that. So, awesome. Thank you. Cheers.